Oh man,
Uh,
that's how I feel every time I stream.
yeah, no kidding. You and your base running and your lack of tech skills.
Exactly. It
But
just
you have no
coagul
excuse though, man. I'm old as shit. You're still young. You're supposed to know all this type of stuff.
computers suck. Computers suck. I go outside and do fun shit, not nerd shit like this, okay?
Oh my gosh. Easy, easy, easy. um, yeah, man, this crazy heat wave. Does it normally get this hot in Colorado?
No. Not in September.
Really?
Not on September 6th. You know, I mean
That's
we're
nuts.
usually like mid 80s. A hot day is like mid 80s maybe. We're over
Jesus.
100.
Yeah, over here on the coast, California, man, it gets hot, but it doesn't get. I mean, like I was saying earlier when we were off stream, it's a different type. It's a different type of heat when you're actually on the water and there's like no breeze. Usually, you got like the sea breeze or the cool air that keeps things a little cool, but it's hot. It's 100 where I'm at right now, and I can see the water,
Mm.
so it's
Uh.
hot, and a lot of people don't have air conditioning, man. So shout out to everybody sweating their balls off right now. Hopefully, they're staying safe.
Hopefully they got some box fans going.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, my little stream room here. My wife bought me a little air conditioner to sit on my thing because our AC has been running nonstop. So I'm freezing out the entire family here at the house. so, but so what's up, man? What'd you do this weekend? You were gone. You were out of town, weren't you?
Mom's birthday, we did that. It was a good time. What did you do?
Went up to the San Francisco for the weekend. I haven't been up to the city in a while. Took my wife out and celebrated our what was it our 17th anniversary.
Wow.
Long ass time to be married to somebody like me. I don't know how she does it, but yeah, so 17 years. Went up to the city, caught a Giants game, got sunburnt. It was fun. It was a nice little reset.
There you go. It's always good to get out of town for a few days, right?
Yeah, I'm ready to get back to talking baseball though, man.
Yes,
It's
sir.
feels like it's been forever. But so we'll go for the first topic. The greatest show of all time, in my opinion, Eastbound and Down, is coming back. I don't know if anybody else has saw that, but I saw the tweet go out this morning and I was like, holy shit. Kenny Powers, hypothetically, is not one of my idols, but I absolutely love this show. Do you know anything about that show? I don't, have you ever seen it?
No, I have not seen it. So I'm going to let you heavily take over this topic and I will jump
Oh,
in
man.
whenever I have, something to add. But
I,
you were very excited about this when I first hopped into the Discord. So
yeah, so I don't know if I think it might be season 4 or 5. I can't remember how many seasons there are, but this, to me, it's got to be, as a baseball fan, this has got to be one of the better sitcoms of all time. Um, Trying to figure out a way to describe it, but I would think that you've got imagine Major League, the old school movie Major League, where it was kind of comedic. Imagine that being a sitcom, like an ongoing series, but a little bit more comedic. And you got Danny McBride, who's an amazing actor. That's just he plays this part so well. And he's a washed up baseball player that gets demoted, and he's taking steroids in the back room. He's getting sent down to the Mexico leagues. He's riding in out of the bullpen on donkeys. Nickname is La Flama Blanca. I mean, it's straight comedy. I can't even explain it. You got to go back and at least watch season 1. That'll give you a really good idea of what it is. But yeah, I saw that come out this morning and I was like, holy shit! It just made my entire day.
can we get somebody riding in on a donkey in a Major League game? Can that be?
Well,
Can we get that? We got bullpen carts at some stadiums. Why not a
you,
donkey?
why hasn't every stadium brought back the bullpen cart? I mean, I guess there's certain scenarios where they can't get on the field, but why hasn't more teams adopted that?
I don't know. I don't know, right? Because us pitchers are lazy. So I
Mhm.
know that the guys would be down for it.
That's like the
I don't
coolest shit
know.
ever.
It is. I know. I have no idea. I know Nats Park and I think Arizona uses theirs, and that's it.
Is it only 2?
I something like that. Maybe a couple more, but I know Nationals and D-backs
Oh
use
man.
theirs.
NCAA football says Trumanation should do the donkey into the stream. That would be epic.
Hey, NCAA, you find me a donkey and I'll do it. You
That would
find me
be
an ass and
epic.
I'll ride it.
Well, you've got the cats in your stream. I wonder if we could set up some type of donkey. Because I swear, after you watch this sitcom, it's gonna become one of your favorites. Because I know you're a
Excited.
baseball guy.
You know what? This is a topic that like we might need to bring back in a couple weeks because I need to watch it and I'll give my take
We might. You
on
know what?
Eastbound and Down.
I got an idea. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. We should do a watch party for Eastbound and Down.
Ooh.
Live watch parties.
Ooh. Chad, do you guys like Eastbound and Down? Jeremy's all over it. Am
I
I
am all
crazy?
over that.
Am I crazy for being the only one that's never seen it?
Well, we might have a bunch of youngsters in the chat, so we don't know.
Right.
Does anybody even? You can give us like a 1 in a chat if you've heard of Eastbound and Down, or a 2
I've
if you've
heard the name. I never knew it was baseball.
Oh,
Never even knew it was
man.
baseball.
There's so many. Will Ferrell's in that too. Will Ferrell plays like he plays a car dealership owner, and that's where I don't know if you ever heard that thing where like I can feel it in my plums. He has like the funniest one-liners, and oh my
I
god,
have never heard that.
you've never heard
Feel it in
that?
my plums, no.
Oh man,
I'm behind the times. I need to figure it out, and I need to watch.
yeah, I know you probably don't watch much television, but that is one show that I'm gonna make you watch. And maybe even we do a watch party. Maybe we do a watch party, and that's.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to get on that because my TV watching basically is live sports and list. It's about all I watch.
Oh my god. So. And streaming with your cats.
And streaming.
I can't blame you there. It's probably one of your money makers, so not gonna heckle you too much. But yeah, Kenny Powers, Eastbound and Down, coming back. I think they said 2023, so it might be a little while. And I'm not going to give it away, but somebody dies, and they show, they show the little tombstone in the trailer. But it's hard, man, because you haven't watched the beginning one, so you're not going to know who it is. And I mean, it shows it in the trailer, but April dies. April was like,
but I'm gonna have to go back and watch the entire thing before I watch like them bringing it back. Like I'm not just gonna pick it up in 2023 after missing like, however many seasons.
You've got some time. Because they.
Right.
Yeah, I think 2023, so we got a little bit of time to watch it. But epic show, one of my all-time favorites. That got me super excited. The day was made when I saw that, and the trailer's pretty damn cool too. So, anyway, what do you got next? I'll let you cover this.
We got and I know this is a couple days old now, but we haven't seen y'all in a few days, and this was like maybe the most electric thing that I've seen in baseball this year. So, obviously we've been seeing it all damn year. Every time Edwin Diaz pitches. The Mets broadcast, they show him coming in from the pen to his trumpets, his Narco, I think is the name of the song or whatever, Narcos. They show his, him walking in from the bullpen. But the other day they had Timmy Trumpet, who is one of the dudes that made Edwin Diaz walkout song, live in the flesh to essentially do a live performance for Edwin Diaz's walkout, which is so sick.
Yeah.
So sick. It was incredible. Mets fans absolutely fucking suck. They're all on their phones. That stadium should have been bouncing off the walls. Instead, everybody was like quiet filming. Like, get the fuck out of here, Mets fans. Be better. But no, that was sick though. I mean, that was incredible. The dude was electric, man. I loved every second of that. I thought that was freaking awesome. I know that I know that Timmy Trumpet is easier because he just plays like that little trumpet solo at the beginning. But my first thought was like, oh my god, if they somehow had like Metallica like at Yankee Stadium for when Mo came out, one time.
Oh my god.
I know that's pretty damn impossible to set up a whole band and do like a live thing and clean it all up. Like it's super easy to bring a trumpet out, real quick, but I mean, that was so sick. What'd you think of it?
That was absolutely electric. And I love, it goes back to this whole baseball movement that we've been talking about, the handful of episodes we've done so far. And just the way that they're starting to implement this new stuff to kind of get the younger generation and make the game not so boring. For real baseball fans, we understand the game. It's not boring to some. I guess even traditional baseball fans are bored at times, right? It's a slow-paced game. But man, that was absolutely electric. I'm a Dodger fan. I can't stand the Mets, and that gave me goosebumps. When I was watching that, I was like, "Wow, that was incredible."
That was incredible. It
absolutely
was
incredible.
So sick. Like, good for the Mets for doing that too.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh,
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who did it better, Ricky Vaughn with Wild Thing or Edwin Diaz with Narcos?
I mean, Wild Thing's a classic.
That's an absolute classic.
That's a classic.
But they were both, I mean, as far as being electric,
I'm going to Timmy Trumpet because it was real. because it was a real Major League Baseball game. But
Okay.
no, that was so sick. I mean, I'm a big like. So again, like I was a PO, I wasn't any good, obviously, but like I am big on like a sick like walkout for a reliever.
Mhm.
Like I think as crazy as it sounds, I totally think it sets the tone for an outing. I really do. And Edwin Diaz has got probably the best in baseball right now. Obviously, we all know it. But man, I don't know. I love it. I love it. I mean, Edwin Diaz is up there with Hell's Bells and with Enter Sandman, and that his walkout is up there with like some of those classics, like Welcome to the Jungle for Gagne. Like it's up there.
The whole Hell's Bells when whose was it? That was Trevor Hoffman's.
Hoffman, yeah.
That was pretty electric too. Like just hearing the bells at the beginning just gives you goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about
it. I know. Like closer walkouts are one of my favorite thing in baseball. Like they are so sick. And it's cool now because in 2022, and I'm sure you've seen it, Jeremy. Every stadium, I believe, or most, have like the light shows mid-game now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how they do that, but that's a pretty new thing, but it's sick. So like whenever we've seen Daniel Bard come into pitch this year, like in person, it's so sick because they like will shut the lights off and start doing a light show, and I know I saw Baltimore does that with their closer. I'm sure everywhere does, but like I love closer walkouts. I think they're electric in general. They're sick.
Everywhere but Oakland. I don't think the Oakland's Coliseum. I don't think their lights even do that. That shitty stadium.
Of course. Oh, you guys are dog shit, Oakland.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they're probably afraid to turn the damn lights out there in Oakland too. I don't know what the.
Yeah, they might not turn back on.
That, or you might have a whole goddamn porno section going off up in the left-hand bleachers or something. Who knows?
Yeah, if they turn off the lights in Oakland, people might get freaky. So maybe they're scared to do that. I don't know.
That is pretty cool.
Romano has it in Toronto as well. Yeah, no, it's closer walkouts are. Oh my gosh, I mean they are so cool how they do them up. Like I said, Edwin's got one of the best ones this year ever. Whatever. So
have you ever seen the hockey stuff? What they're doing at the hockey arenas at the very beginning of the game, where they turn the lights off and they use the rink as like an AI thing, and they actually have mascots popping out, and they do like this full on video show on the ice.
If you haven't seen what the Vegas Golden Knights do before the game, check it out. It's unreal.
That is cool.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I mean the NBA does it too. Like before games, they do the video shows on the court. It's cool. I mean, it's really cool, the production that's starting to, integrate into sports. It's very, very neat, whether it be light shows in baseball. And I mean, the Rockies, like, they'll do it multiple times. I mean, every home run, again, I'm sure every stadium does this, but every time a home run is hit, they'll do a light show. The last time we went, the Rockies got shit on 6-0, but in the bottom of the ninth inning, they did a rally time, hype light show. It didn't work. But no, it's sick. Just, especially for the sport of baseball, that they're doing just little things like that'll get a casual fan hooked. Because my mom that hasn't been to a Rockies game in 10 years, she's like, holy shit, this is so cool. They don't even, stuff like that. So just little things like that make it a little bit more interesting is really cool.
So do you have to throw 103 miles an hour to have Timmy Trumpet come out and do that? Can you do that if you're trying to think of a closer who's not so good? Do you have to be an elite tier, hard throwing? I'm just
trying to think of a closer that doesn't even throw Ched.
Yeah, I guess so hard to find
relievers that it's so hard to find in 2022 a reliever that doesn't throw Ched.
Even Craig Kimbrell, he's
still running it up there, even though he's slightly more washed. I don't know. I can't think of any. I mean, there's only 30 closer jobs in the world. I mean, they're all gonna throw. I'm trying to think of an old school close. What about John Franco? John Franco threw 89, 90.
I was gonna say, did he even touch 90?
I don't know. That's the only example I could really think of is John Franco. But I mean, back then they didn't have
That would be funny though. That would be funny. You got a guy coming out of the bullpen throwing 80 miles an hour, coming out to Enter Sandman or something like that. It just wouldn't even be the same.
I agree with you to an extent, unless they are a lockdown closer, right? Like there's some
Okay.
guys in baseball, like I mean, like Kyle Hendricks has been, or I mean, you could use the classic Greg Maddux example, whatever.
Mhm.
But if it's a closer that threw like 88 to 90, but they had like a 2.15 ERA, they were 40 out
Mhm.
of 42 on save opportunities for the year. Hell yeah, they're doing their
Well,
job. Fuck it.
actually, how hard did Trevor Hoffman throw? I don't remember him running it up there,
He
right?
didn't gas people up. He just had his changeup.
He was like
He
what,
just had his
low
insane
90s
changeup.
and his
Yeah,
69 mile an hour changeup that just
yeah.
pulled a string. Yeah.
There you go. That's perfect
So
example. Yeah,
I guess he's a
Hoffman
good
didn't throw
example.
cheddar. Yeah. So David Robertson. Yep. There you go.
Yeah,
David Robertson
real
doesn't throw
Phillies
too
in
hard.
chat, David Robertson.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, holy smokes. Yeah, I love the way they're doing that. When I saw that, I was like, yes, baseball's finally starting to adopt. It's slowly coming, right? We all know it. They're starting to implement little changes here and there. People freak out because they're seeing the rule changes and stuff, but little things like this go a long ways, I think, and then it just builds up.
Hey.
And
Well, and like on top of that, sorry to interrupt, but
no, go
like
ahead.
clips like that, how many views do you think that Timmy Trumpet clip has? It's
Yeah.
easily in the millions right now. Like
Mhm.
everyone has seen that. Everybody. So it's just one of those things that gets more eyes on the sport as well. So
It reminds me of why the World Baseball Classic is so electric, right? Like
yes.
I mean, the World Baseball Classic is so much fun to watch. I'm so glad they announced it's coming back, but the players show real emotion, and the whole like unwritten rules is kind of thrown out of the book. It seems like for the World Baseball
Yeah.
Classic,
Oh,
because
I
it's kind of
love it.
like who are we to say that this is how you're supposed to play the game? You're allowing other countries to represent. They bring their flair and their whole personality to the game. It's so much fun to watch,
Oh
man.
yeah, like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, they're like,
Yeah.
going ape shit and flashy, pimping everything. I fucking love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
So,
So
last question before we move on to the next
yeah,
topic. Your closer for the Colorado Rockies,
yeah.
Trumanation, comes out of the bullpen. What song are you walking out to?
In college, I walked out to, and again, I think I heard it 3 times, and I threw like 82. So, but
Let's just assume you
but
threw 92 or 98 or something like that. Let's say you're a stud coming out of the bullpen to close it out. What are you walking out to?
there's 2 songs that come to mind too. So the one I walked out to in college was "Shepherd of Fire" by Avenged Sevenfold, and then one of my teammates and buddies used this song, and it to this day is maybe my favorite pitcher walkout I've heard, and it was only at the college level. It was "Wherever I May Roam" by Metallica.
Okay.
Absolutely electric, those two.
Okay.
So, and Daniel Barden, I love this one too. I love this one too. Bard walks out to his light show to Stranglehold by Ted Nugent, and that's pretty wicked too. I like his a lot as well. But
Gotcha.
so those are my couple that I've really enjoyed. What about you? Give me a song.
I'm old, man. I'm old, so you can put me on the spot here. I love a lot of the new hip hop and stuff, but here's one that you can't use. I absolutely love it, but I can't use it. Somebody in chat said it earlier, but the 1990s Bulls, when the Bulls
Oh
did their
yeah.
intro,
Yeah.
no, I don't think anybody can use that ever. And I think I was watching a basketball game early last year, and one of the other teams actually used that Bulls intro music, and I was
Oh my god,
like,
that's
I,
fucked.
yeah, I
That
was
should
like,
be
dude, that shouldn't even be allowed. Like, I don't
that
think
should be a
anybody,
forfeit.
yeah, I don't think anybody should be allowed to use that. That's so iconic to the Bulls. But as far as a walkout song goes, I'm gonna have to go the under. Remember when the Undertaker WWF when he used to come out?
Yes, 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 yes.
Just
Hansel Robles did that for a while
just
when he
that
was the
sound,
Angels closer. When
really,
he was the
really
Angels closer, Hansel Robles used that for a little
nice.
bit. Yeah.
Something about it's like opening the doors, coming out to that music. Just I'm about to put you in
Yeah.
a body bag. I'm gonna murder everybody.
Oh,
Like it just gives me the
sick.
chills, man. That
Right.
that would be mine. That would be mine.
I love it. Okay, I got one last question on this topic. I'm sorry. I know
Okay.
that
No,
we've
keep
been
going.
talking
Keep
about it
going.
for a minute. So, and I chat, you guys can answer as well. Uh William Contreras is catching a shitload of flack because he also uses that same song that Diaz uses as his walk-up song to hit. And
Ah,
he's been using it all year. So I don't know if Diaz has used this song like in previous years, but William Contreras uses the same song and he's been getting a lot of shit for it, honestly. Like I've been seeing a lot of shit on Twitter,
Hmm.
and obviously those are like, I mean, those are the two teams in the NL East competing for the division. So that just adds like a whole nother level to it. You know what I mean? It's not like,
That's
you know, a
tough.
random Oakland A's player is using it. It's Edwin Diaz and then an all-star catcher from the same division, two arguably some of the biggest rivals in baseball.
That's
Yeah, he's been
tough.
getting a lot of shit for that. And it just kind of reminded me of what you were saying with the Bulls,
Mhm.
you know, someone else using their song, but I don't really know who used it first. You know, I don't know if Edwin
Yeah.
had used that song before this year. So,
Well,
but
did Edwin technically claim it because of how viral it went? Now he's kind of owned that. Now the other guy has to change it, or do
like,
you
can
keep
you
rocking
do
it?
that? Can you do that though? Like, just because Edwin has been rocking it, like, let's say they
Mm.
both started using it at the same time. Like, although maybe like Edwin's has gone more viral, does that mean like William needs to change it? I mean, that's an all-star. He was an all-star this year.
That's very
An
true.
all-star player.
It's kind of does. Can you compare this to? You compare it to coming into a new team and like, hey, I want number 24, but you got Ken Griffey Jr. who's wearing number 24, and he's like,
But
fuck
like,
you, I'm Ken Griffey Jr.
is music that serious? You know? I
Mm.
mean, like if it's another closer using like Enter Sandman, yeah, no, you're a fucking clown for that. Come on. Like that should borderline be retired, like as far as baseball
Yeah.
goes.
We
But,
got
you know,
what do we got people saying in chat? We got Andrew saying, pretty sure Edwin has used it in Seattle. William hasn't been in the league as long as Edwin. That's a good point.
okay, and I wasn't sure about that because I didn't know how old the song was. See, okay, so if Edwin had used it first, I I kind of think that's like his trademark. Yeah, I'm not saying that like
Yeah,
William shouldn't use it, but like if I am William Contreras and I see how much like hype it's getting elsewhere, I probably would change it.
probably change it. Yeah.
I'd probably change it
It's like an
because I
unwritten
mean,
rule, right? It's an unwritten rule where it's
yeah,
like, all right, you own that now. You went viral. I'll give it to you.
like yeah, exactly. Like I'm not gonna get on him. I'm like if he wants to keep using it, use it. You know what I mean? But like if
Mhm.
it's me personally, I'd probably just be like, you know, he kind of went viral for it. I might, you know, look at something else type
Yeah,
thing. You know what I mean?
very, very true. Very, very true. Should we move
No,
on?
you're right, Nasty. They complain about it's a dope song, just enjoy it. No, I know.
Yeah.
I get that side of it too. I totally get it. Like I said, if I'm William Contreras, I probably just change it just because I know that the typical fan is gonna have the stigma whenever they hear that song. They're like, oh, he took Edwin Diaz's song, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah.
Andrew Mustang says Williams he could have used it in the minors, so who
Yeah,
knows?
it's
Yeah.
true. True.
Very,
So
very true. Well,
regardless, super sick thing. But Jeremy, I'm
yeah.
gonna turn this one over to you as well. You know a tad more than me. Optic at the new Ranger Stadium.
Yeah, so the other night, interesting thing, Optic Gaming, for those who don't know, Optic Gaming's big time gaming org. I think they're mainly Call of Duty, ran by Hector, and Scump's kind of the face of it. They had a nice crossover event the other day where they did Optic Night at the Texas Ranger Stadium, because I think Optic's headquarters is out there in Texas. Super interesting to see. I love that baseball is starting to cross over into different sports. I'm sure it's happened in the past. We're just not really paying attention to it much. But jumping into the gaming space where a lot of the youth is hanging out right now was very interesting to me. When I saw that, I thought that was a great move by MLB, and or it might have just been the Rangers, but I'm sure maybe it had something to do with Major League Baseball itself. But to have a gaming organization in the local area. Granted, they just I think Optic had just won something, and they had Scump come out, and I think Hector also threw the first pitch, and they did some Optic Gaming inspired uniforms for the Rangers. Really, really cool thing to see. And I just what it reminded me of too is when we did the DCCL last year, when we had
Yep.
that Call of Duty week where we had we made the Caldera Stadium, and we had
Yeah.
all the guys dress up as a different gaming clan. I thought that was really cool to see how we brought a Call of Duty kind of crossover collab into MLB The Show, and that's the first thing that I thought of. And I was like, okay, cool. There, somebody's getting it with this crossover collabs, and I thought it was really, really cool to see. I'd like to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah, and I mean, good for the Rangers too, because I mean, gaming is obviously massive, and it's an industry that's only going to get bigger. So,
Mhm.
you know, if you're Major League Baseball, why not do some crossovers or dabble in, in some partnerships or things like that? It's just again going to get more eyes on your sport and from a younger audience too. So, yeah, very cool. I love it as well. And like you said, I hope we see more of it. I think that'd be awesome. So,
Yeah, I think we are. I can't see another club not wanting to do it. You got like such these big organizations like or not Atlanta Phase, but just Phase Clan in general. You've got the 100 Thieves and all them. You know, their professional Call of Duty, their CDL teams are all like Atlanta Phase, right? So I could see the Atlanta Braves doing like a Phase night or something like that. It'd be
yeah,
huge. It'd be huge for the fan base.
I think it'd be cool if MLB kind of started to do minor league teams do this a lot in summer teams. Minor
Mhm.
league and summer teams. Um I would love if they did promotional nights to the extent of like, I've seen certain like summer teams and minor league teams that wear like literally build a specific uniform for that night.
You
You
better
know
be
what I mean?
you better be careful. You're going to piss off a lot of baseball traditionalists.
That's fair. Maybe if I'm the
Yeah.
New York Yankees, I wouldn't be doing that. But I don't know. I love that aspect of like summer ball and
Mhm.
like minor league ball. How like they will literally wear uniforms, and I can't think of a good example right now. I know I've seen it a lot, but
There's a
they will
ton.
like build. Yeah, there's a ton. Like they will
Mhm.
build. Oh, this is the one I was thinking of. I forget what minor league team. It's one of the ones in Texas, but they wear like a Whataburger specific uniform, and I think that's just very funny.
Mhm.
I think that's very funny.
So,
But um,
fun fact, actually, when we were doing a lot of jersey design, we worked with a couple minor league teams to do some branding and some design work for their stuff. And amazingly, some of the feedback that we got from some of the minor league players and some of the teams themselves, a lot of them don't like it. A lot of them don't like
real,
it because they see it as just a straight marketing ploy. Every team has some type of food inspired jersey, whether it's like the damn corn dogs or it's,
yeah,
this and that. Like it's all promotional purposes and the players hate it because they're dressing
really,
them up like it's just a costume to them. And some of these players really are proud to represent a certain organization. And now you're throwing like a corn dog outfit on somebody or sod poodles, and they're coming up with all this like off the wall names. It's actually starting to upset a handful of people that we have talked to. Um, but there's a company out there called Brandios. Brandios is the one that works with a lot of the minor league organizations to do that. And they come in and they tour the city and they figure out like, okay, this city is inspired by this, and this, and they put together this whole vision board and this brand package, and they do a lot of food inspired things. It's a way for the minor league organization to make some money, but the players hate it because you're just
that
dressing them up. You're dressing them up like little costume players out there and saying, hey, go out there and try to throw a baseball wearing this wild uniform. Some of them are cool.
that surprises me because I loved them when I played summer ball. When I played on my
Really,
college summer team, I loved them, and we got to keep them, and like it had my number on. I thought it was sick. I thought it
I
was so
I
so
wonder
cool. Like
I
there
wonder
was
what
like this.
percentage.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe pro players are just bigger dickheads than me. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But no, I mean we had this like like autism awareness inspired jersey that like had a bunch of like puzzle pieces
That's
on it and
cool.
stuff like
Mhm.
that. And we just wore it for one game, and I loved it. I thought it was so cool.
The
So
one
cool.
the one thing I will say at the Major League Baseball level, when
Yeah, I don't know if
we
you can necessarily do that at the major league level. The more that
well, man,
thinking about it.
like what was it 3? I think it's been 3 years now. 3 years ago, when we first came into the whole gaming scene, we had just launched our city collection, right? For all of our merch, where we redid all 30 MLB teams in a city collection. We did that before Major League Baseball did because we knew it was coming. We wanted to jump out front and kind of use our creativity. We got so much shit
Mm,
across social media for the designs, and not even necessarily the designs, but just the idea of having something different like that. People wanted to hang us. Man, it was
people are
brutal. The comment
people are
section
boring.
was outrageous. And I'm
People are
thinking,
damn boring.
yeah, we were trying to launch that whole project, and we were looking at the demographics behind the scenes and all the analytics and stuff. And at the time, I didn't realize this, but Major League Baseball, the average age of a Major League Baseball fan was 63 years old.
Yeah. Oh, I am not surprised
Uh,
whatsoever by that.
yeah,
I am
so
not surprised whatsoever.
when we started diving into the analytics and stuff, it really made me kind of realize, holy shit, like the people that are seeing our designs are the baseball traditionalists, the old heads that didn't want change. And so we kind of changed up our
I'm surprised
marketing.
a lot of them are on Twitter, to be honest.
Well, it wasn't Twitter. We got a lot of flack on Facebook, which is where a lot of
Got
the,
it. And that's where the old people
yep.
are. Facebook. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and originally
Got it.
that was why we came into the gaming scene. That was when we had launched a couple MLB The Show tournaments for the travel ball kids that were stuck at home playing COVID or during COVID, and we had just launched the MLB The Show tournaments for travel kids. We had just launched the City Connection or the City Collection jerseys. We had just realized that holy shit, all these old ass people that hated what we were doing were viewing it. And I was like, well, that's not our customer. Our customer isn't the one that doesn't want change. We want to change things. We want to make things a little bit more creative. So that's when we started reaching out to guys like yourself when we first came into the gaming space, because we were like, okay, the younger kids are at home watching Twitch streamers playing MLB The Show. We had just launched a few MLB The Show tournaments, and it was a way to help promote our merch. And it just kind of went crazy from there. We fell in love with the gaming space and started launching other stuff like the DCCL and
Yep.
having all the other streamers come on board and stuff. But yeah, that was crazy. So going back, just an aside, the Major League Baseball stuff, the promotional stuff at the Major League Baseball level, it's going to
People
take a
aren't willing
long
to,
time.
yeah.
Because
Yep.
they're getting a lot of flack right now just for the city jerseys, and they slowly rolled that out to just a handful of teams per year. We don't even have all 30.
Hate the Rocky City jerseys. I hate them. Oh, well, okay. Let me reiterate. I don't hate the jerseys. I hate the green pants. It ruins the uniform for me. I'm an old head in the sense of, I believe there are two colors that should be worn for baseball pants: white at home, gray on the road. That's it.
What
You do
about
whatever
powder
you want with
blue?
the jerseys. Okay, yeah, that's the exception. The powder
Or
blues are
cream, the cream
incredible.
and vanilla?
I consider that white, honestly. I really
Okay,
do.
it's a shade.
A shade of white. But yeah, okay. The powder blue is my one exception. I don't like black baseball pants. Like, I think white, gray, and yeah, the powder blue that the Jays and the Cardinals and the Rangers, that's a fair exception. And the Royals. But yeah, white and gray. That is
Old
what
school.
baseball pants should be. So
Love it. So
that is what they should be. So one
Optic
thing I do
Gaming.
want to say before we move on too, though, is I would rather than bring back those player weekend jerseys than the damn City Connects. I thought the Rockies player weekend jerseys were cool as hell.
That was cool. I know they got a lot of flack for that too, right? Because they were just solid
The Yankees
white.
got a
Solid
lot
white.
of shit for
Yeah.
that. Because that was like the first time that they haven't worn like pinstripes at home in like 100 and whatever years. So I know they got
Yeah.
a lot of shit for that. But
We had to
so
tread.
I get it.
We had to tread very carefully when we redesigned the Yankees jersey for their city collection, and
I wouldn't have even done them.
we went old school. We went with the gray flannel tops and bottoms, made it look vintage, and then we just put the Bronx across the front in the old Yankees font, and that was, we didn't touch the logo, we didn't touch anything because we knew that was such an iconic.
Smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
Very, very, very touchy subject when it comes to changing stuff like that. But yeah, Optic Gaming crossover Texas Rangers. I thought that was pretty damn cool. I think they even wore gray jerseys with Rangers outlined in the optic green, which was kind of cool. So
that is cool. That is very cool. And I know I said it once, but going back to the original point, like Major League Baseball should absolutely dabble in gaming. That'd be sick. So
yeah,
that'd be incredible.
So let's move on. I'll let you get this next one.
Yeah. So I think in our very first Infield Chatter, we discussed this. Minor leaguers, and now it's official. So now it's official. That's why we're touching back on this. Minor League Baseball, and they're essentially now part of the union. They're part of the Players Association now. So it is official. It is approved. I think as far as just, and again, I know we touched on it a week ago, but as far as just quality of life for minor leaguers, I think it's just going to go up now. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what this does, and that is huge for the sport of baseball. Hopefully these guys will be able to, have a tad more livable of a wage, right? And I know that's tough because there's a million minor league teams, but hopefully the living situations will be a little bit better, the travel, whatever it may be. And I think all those things will improve now that minor leaguers are a part of the Players Association. So
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. You know, there's going to be some type of I don't want to call it fallout. I hate using that
There's going to
word,
be some
but
pushback for
there's
sure.
definitely
There
going to be
is.
some shit that's going to hit the fan when it comes
There
down to
is.
negotiations and stuff, especially after what just happened earlier this year with the potential lockout. Like that was scary. Like there was going to be a chance that we didn't have Major League Baseball again.
Yeah.
And
And there, I would say there's an even better chance that you
mhm,
might see some minor leaguers protesting
mhm,
when some of this shit starts to hit the fan. And at
yeah,
that point, if Major League Baseball decides to play their games through a minor league lockout, who gets called up? If there's injuries, whatever. What
yeah,
happens there?
you can't.
Do I need to get my arm hot? Do I need to get on a throwing program?
I've seen you pitch out in Vegas and Tampa, man.
Hey, I dice. Don't even start with me on the
I,
blitzball. I dice those fools up.
you diced a guy like Digital Champion. You
Fair,
diced a guy
fair,
like Scan and Graceful
fair,
Swan. Come on, man.
fair, fair,
But yeah,
fair,
you were dirty.
fair.
Did I try to hit off you? I don't think
I don't think you did.
I
I
didn't
don't
even
think you
play. I
did.
just kind of sat back and took it all in. I was like, my old
Yeah,
ass ain't getting out there. Except for a couple of
fair.
videos. You remember that one video when we tried to do the Blitzball furthest home run or something like that?
Didn't you win?
Yeah, yeah. It was, dude, it was comical. I remember. So we were
You
all
son
out
of a
there.
bitch.
We're all out there. Everybody was hitting the Blitzball, and everybody was like, yo, that'd be great content if we had Bossman step into the box and try to hit a bomb. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I remember Scan coming over, and Scan's like, hey, Jeremy, you know what we can do? We can edit to where, you swing, make contact, and we can edit, and we can just show the. And I was like, Scan, just let me hit the fucking ball over the fence. And he kind of looked at me
And
like,
you did.
oh, and I hit an absolute nuke.
I think
And
Dude to Dude was in first. I was in
Mhm.
second, and then you just blew us out of the park.
I dropped the bomb straight center field. That was awesome.
I was a PO. That's my excuse. I'm just kidding.
um, but yeah, man, it's you can't call anybody else up if this all goes bad. I mean, we could be in for a season without baseball. Who knows
I
what's going
don't
to happen?
see if minor leaguers are striking. I don't see how you could play Major League Baseball.
Hmm.
I don't see how they would feel comfortable playing an MLB season if the minor leagues
Hmm.
were on a strike or not playing.
It's got to be such a shitty situation too, like
Yeah.
for both sides, right? Because you got
Yep.
Major League Baseball, who is a for profit. They're obviously trying to run a business, right? So you're kind of empathetic to that. But then you've got minor leaguers who are also just trying to make a decent wage. But if
Yep.
nothing gets done, both sides get penalized, right? Like those minor
Yeah.
leaguers that are barely making, they got to go get a job. They can't focus
Yep.
on their craft. They got to go get a 9 to 5. I mean, it sucks. The guys that are signing these max contracts, they got all the money in the world, right? They're not sweating it. They take a year or two off from baseball. They've got enough money to get by. But what about the guys that are making league
Yeah.
minimum, or the minor leaguers that are making nothing, that can't play because they're holding out for a better cause? That's a rough sequence.
I would love to see, kind of like we're seeing at the college level, all these like NIL deals now. I would love to see
Mhm.
more, sponsorships being thrown at minor league baseball players to help out with their wages. And I know that like
Mhm.
that's not viable for, Johnny Slapdick, last guy in a, a low A bullpen. But
Mhm.
some of these like top prospects and whatnot, and I'm sure most of them already do have some stuff. But I would really love to see, a lot of these guys being thrown like the equivalent of these NIL deals that like these college athletes are getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so to touch on that, I'm glad you brought that up. Um, Things are about to change, man. Things are about to change, and I know I get into my geek mode when I start talking about tech and Web3 and NFTs and blockchain and stuff. But this technology that's coming, that a lot of people aren't really familiar with or don't understand the ins and outs, is going to help guys like that with those endorsement deals. You think about it right now, right? If let's say you're a pitcher in the minor leagues, right? Let's say you're
Yeah.
playing low A ball. You just got signed to league minimum, right? Your contract is set for. I mean, what is your first pro contract is what, for 4 years before you're eligible for.
Yeah.
So
Four.
you're stuck making next to damn near nothing for 4 years. You're riding on buses. You got no signing bonus. The club just gave you a plane ticket to get out there, right?
Yep.
You negotiate a deal. You have to go through your agent. If a company hits you up and wants to work with you on a collaboration or some type of NIL deal, it's got to go through the agent.
Yep.
Everything has to flow through your agent. Where now, with blockchain technology and NFTs and all this stuff, there's a lot more tech that's coming out that's making it easier and easier to cut out the middleman. So
Okay.
you're going to start to see a lot more stuff come out to where that company can now reach you direct and can negotiate things and can compensate you easier without having to worry about all the ins and outs because the blockchain does it for you. Smart contracts and stuff like that. So I can go on that topic for a whole nother hour. I won't bore everybody, but no, to your point though, like there's change coming, and the pitcher only for podunk team single A or low A ball is now going to
Right.
have opportunities, which is going to be really,
Good.
really cool to see. So
Good.
it might not be enough to go out and buy a Ferrari or Mercedes Benz or anything like that, but it
Just
might
the
be enough
livable
to help
wage.
pay their rent and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
but,
Exactly.
but yeah, man, it's I really hope we don't see any fallout from this, man. As a baseball
Yeah.
fan, I think everybody's kind of looking at this as like, oh boy, this is about to hit the fan. I think you'd be a
Yep.
fool to not think that, but
Yep. I agree.
from the business side of the players, if you're on the players side, I think this is a huge win. And I
Agreed.
and I think ultimately it's going to be a huge win across the board for Major League Baseball too. Eventually, once you get past all the crap and all the negotiating and stuff, it's just you got if you got happy employees, you got a happy employer because everybody's
Yep.
happy, everybody's making money. And when you're fighting over who gets what and this and that, you're making too much and I'm making too little. Now it's just a clusterfuck. And
Yep.
I think the faster we get away from that, the better off we are.
I agree. I agree. And just like you said, I think in the long run, this is a big win, and I just hope that it doesn't cost us any Major League Baseball in the process or minor league
Yeah.
baseball.
God,
So
I sure hope not, man. Um, what else you got going on, man? It was about the end of the show here. What do we got? We're almost 50 minutes in. God, I really want to spill the beans right now, Truman. You know what I'm thinking.